What we must understand is the Fulanis are intentional in their conquests. They can never be mistaken for it. And I'll give you a proof. The Fulanis are intentionally with Islam, jihadism, conquest, conquering people, taking people's land. They are not shying from it. El-Rufai, Bashir El-Rufai, the son of Nasir El-Rufai, who we can as well say he is Malam El-Rufai spokesperson, came out and said that any man that dares challenge a Fulani man will be unalived. He said this and he mentioned a specific region in this country. He said Southern Kaduna will be wiped out because they continue to kill, to unalive Fulani elders.
And he was not called for questioning.
I have told you that these people are intentional. And they became intentional the very first day Usman Danfodio stepped his foot into Nigeria. In 1804, he told them, he gave them a marching order. He said, listen, Nigeria is your estate. So therefore, you must take power. When the British were about to go, the British saw the intentionality of the Fulanis. He said, listen, guys, you have to occupy the Nigerian military, you have to occupy the Nigerian Air Force, you have to occupy the Nigerian police force. Because we know that you people are intentional about power. Have you checked the records? Before you count one Yoruba man, you don't count 10 Fulani man. Before you count one Igbo man, you don't count 30 Fulani man. So when 30 elders who are uneducated on a large scale, but wielding an AK-47, tell me what your pen wants to do. They go don't buy you finish before you go talk, say you be educated man. The Nigerian contraption has been tailored, fashioned, okay, to benefit these people. And that is why a man has just been sentenced to death. You know his offense? A Fulani man with a cattle invaded his farm. He saw the man, he said, "Kai, what did they do for that? You didn't chop my corn." He started fighting the guy. Then the Fulani man brought out a cutlass. As he wanted to cut the guy's head, the guy dodged it, collected the cutlass in self-defense, unalived the Fulani man. All of this was well taped and recorded. The Nigerian judiciary system said that that guy should not have defended himself. That if at all, he should have run away, allowed those cattle to eat the corn. When you ask me questions like this, it only shows that you, as a follower of Biafra, should never relax. You should understand that when you begin to challenge the Fulani hegemony, there's only one fate that awaits you. Total annihilation. The Southern Kaduna people know what they saw in the last 8 years of Nasir El-Rufai and Muhammad Buhari. They know what they felt and what they got in Middle Belt. The Benue and the Plateau people, the Lantang, the Becus, all of them, they ran. Fulani men were now renaming their villages. Villages that were bearing Christ is the Lord. They changed it to Uthman, they changed it to Muslims' names. And the Nigeria as a republic is helpless. You asked me a question. You said, is Bashir El-Rufai, has he been apprehended? Who won't touch him? Say na the Fulani brother where the police won't go arrest him. Or say na the Tinubu where be say na Fulani man put him into position. One say, oh, you're going to arrest him. We have to be clear. Nigeria belongs to the Fulanis, for the Fulanis and by the Fulanis. When the Fulani man does one and goes away with it, don't try, you a Yoruba man or an Igbo man, don't try and do half. In this same country, they tell you that a repentant bandit, Lakurawa, ISWAP, has higher chances to become the president.
Which is a Fulani terror group.
You know. It is now their trade in stock. Nobody follow them drag them. As nobody they follow Igbo man drag spare parts. Right now, banditry kidnapping is for the Fulanis. In the last 10 years, one of the most lucrative sector in this country is being run by the Fulani elders, which is what? Kidnapping, banditry, insurgency, gun runnings. That they said the soldier came, the army, a general came, he said, a Fulani man, we don't have to buy them, you know. All we have to do is just demilitarize them, we rehabilitate them, then we can reintegrate them back into the Nigerian soldiers. In fact, we can still put them into the Nigerian politics, wherein they become the Nigerian president before a Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who has never wielded a gun in his life. Before a person like you and I. So what I tell you is that as you and I are, if you go into the political arena, a repeated bandit, we don't buy so many people, they go vote for them.
Now, considering the movements and coalition by the eastern and southwestern governors to forge a common front to fight this ISWAP and terrorist influx in the southwest, could it be said that it is a failed attempt? Since people under their watch is being rounded up and killed, several communities, sacked. I mean, what exactly does it mean? There is no hope for the Yoruba nation?
Well, talking of, limiting these conversations to the Western region is a disservice to the collective suffering of the Southerners. And when I'm talking about the Southerners, I mean the Niger Deltans.
Yes, even the southeast. See what is happening in most recent time.
Even in the south.
Women are being raped.
Some women came out in Ebonyi and Enugu State specifically to protest heavily that Fulani are raping them. In the Ondo, the Fulanis have come out to emphatically state that the forest of Oyo belongs to them. It is their ancestral right now.
Oh my God.
That nobody can recover it. He got to a point where Imakide said that, hey, these bandits are just 8 kilometers away from where I am residing. He went to commission a road around Okeogun, Barapa. These are places that share boundaries with Ilorin and all that. Then the bandits were just 8 kilometers away. He had to run. He couldn't commission that road. What does that tell you? This is beyond whether the Yorubas. But again, I understand where you are going, because the leaders of the Yorubas political structure are myopic people. Likewise, people like Peter Mba, Francis Nwafuru, people like Uzodimma. Likewise, people who are in the Niger Delta. Okay, they are all they have been manipulated by these Fulani people. I don't know how they do it, but it is so sad that we in the South, we claim that we're educated. I mean, you and I can agree, right? We know that these people are not supposed to be worked with. The Yorubas pride themselves to be the most educated people, which I have been questioning for the past 2 years. I have done so many programs on your channel that I question my Yorubas who could be listening to me that are we truly the most educated? Because we are not acting what we say. But that's aside. Despite our level of education, how come these people who are charlatans, who are non-entities, who are destitute, who are illiterate on a massive scale, they cannot compose one paragraph?
Majority of them, but not all.
Yeah, majority of them. Yet they rule over us. It is unthinkable for me. It is more like a spell. Because these guys, when we catch them, when we unveil the mask, it is a Fulani man. Not on one occasion, on multi occasions. Not 1, not 10, not 20. Nnamdi Kanu said it. The Fulani man responded that anybody that releases Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has committed treason against the Fulanis. You know what that means? Do you know what that means? That anybody that released Nnamdi Kanu has committed treason against Fulanis, not against Nigeria. It means that the Fulanis comes first before the Nigerian Republic. Thank you very much.
Sorry, before you leave, that the forest of the Oyo belongs to the Fulanis. Are the Yorubas accepting this defeat?
Well, I have to tell you that the Yorubas, most especially around that communities, I think they are beginning to accept their fate because most of them are going through what we call diplomacy association. They know them, but they're not challenging them. They are not taking the fight to them. Perhaps it will get to a point when the Fulanis will begin to sack the traditional rulers, and maybe when they start installing the emirs like they did in Ilorin, then they will rise. The last person who tried.
Won't that be too late?
The last person, of course, it will, but the last, and this is my state, by the way, the last man who tried to rise up, we know what the Fulani Elders leader, Buhari, who said that Fulani Elders have every right to wield gun because they are global citizens. He said that they have to wield their gun because the animals that they work with is expensive. And they have to protect themselves against cattle rustlers. When he was questioned, that was the response of Buhari to the press people, that I have rights, that my brothers have right to carry AK. But the man who has a farmland, who has a cocoa plantation, a cassava plantation, a maize plantation, has no right to wield a gun. The Yorubas have to, take up this challenge because the Fulanis did not hide it when they said it.
Exactly.
They said it openly that the forest across the borderlines of Oyo is their ancestral land. We have to rise. Because if I do not say it, if I do not challenge them, my fellow brothers, that we are sleeping on fire, these people are not sleeping. The same thing they said they want to do in Andoni. This is the borderline between Enugu and where? Benue, southern Benue. Go to Ebonyi around the Afiko side, Ehamufu side. This side share borders with southern Benue. The same thing they said they were going to do in southern Bauchi. Today, southern Bauchi is no more a Christian area. Bauchi used to have large population of Christians.
Of course.
I dare you to go check it out. So it is a serious thing. The Fulanis are intentional. And at this time, all we need to do as Southerners is to read the Riot Act against these marauding Fulani elders. Thank you very much.
Please, if you watch that video finish, can you give that video a thumb up? Just a thumbs up. Give it a thumb up. What this guy is saying and what Martin Nnamdi Kanu said years ago, is there any difference? Definitely there's no difference. Fulani conquest agenda is right fresh in their memory and they have never forgotten about it. Now everybody, I repeat, every organization is calling for the head of the people who murdered the murderers of their own people. For the first time, stupid, useless CAN, they call them Christian Association of Nigeria, have come out to condemn the killings of Fulanis who were in Edo not for hunting but to create a kiosk or create a chaos in that area. Now they tag them travelers from coming from Port Harcourt going back to the north. Who told you? Travelers in my foot. So it means now in Nigeria, Fulanis have monopoly to carry weapons in trucks. I repeat, to carry weapons in trucks to patrol from one state to the other. They are now travelers because they happen to be the victim. But all this while, they have been busy murdering, massacring, and doing all kinds of crimes against humanity. They were herdsmen. Now they have turned to travelers. Now they have turned to hunters because they happen to be the victim. Don't forget this adage. I always remind it and I always reuse it. Person who is killing by the gun will surely go by gun. Person who launch people all in the name of blasphemy will also go that same way. A machete killer will always go with machete. That is the irony of this life. It is not a rocket science, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. That is how the life have been programmed. I saw also one headline as I'm just scrolling through the Twitter or X, where a Yoruba man by name Adebowale Adewale was telling the Northerners who are preparing to attack Edos, telling them that they should ask Igbos join, because Igbos Edos were just only 3 million. And I asked, so is it the only 3 million? Is it the whole 3 million of Edos attack the Fulanis in Uromi? That Igbos will be joined when they want to went for a reprisal attack. If I tell us Yoruba never love you, 98% or 99% of Yorubas are bigots and they hate Igbos with passion, my people will not understand. They will not believe you. They will tell you, no, I have a very good friend in Yoruba. Not all, my brother, all. I said, in fact, 100%. I mean, talk my damn has come beat me. 100% of Yorubas, we even love ourselves, who is loving them fake, than the Igbos, who is showing them the true love and what love is all about. I watched one lady yesterday ranting on Facebook. One ugly monster, ugly looking monkey, saying that instead of her to marry an Igbo or even be in the same room with an Igbo man, he rather choose to marry the poorest Yoruba. If you see the ugly monster, some people might say, oh, she is looking for followers. My brother, what she said is direct from her mind, not the followers or comments or audience or whatever. It is direct from her mind. That is what they put. How can I live? Tomorrow now, he will buy me. He's going to use me for money ritual. In the history of skull miners, go and ask internet. Yoruba have 99.9% to compare with every other region in Nigeria. But look at the monkey. That is show you the kind of hatred these people portrays. During the time of election, one Yoruba woman who said something in front, I think she said shawarma, in front of estate in Lekki, and almost 90% of the people that occupy that estate are all Igbos, Southeasterners. Then come during that time of election, the woman and her daughter went on X and tweet that nobody should vote Igbos. In fact, that Igbos are Omale, they are this, they are that. That they will never be alive to see an Igbo man rule. My brother, that they need to support their own. It is Aswaju, the Lagos boy, the Jagaban of everybody is the one that are going to support. That Igbos are bastards, that they are Omale. Who tell them that they are going to rule Nigeria? No. She ran everything, finish. Election comes and gone. Then the reality of life sets in. It is not up to 2 months or 3 months down the line, the business is going bankrupt. Because the Igbos you hated during the election and you expect them to come and patronize you after the election, everybody took to their heels. Because if you can make such a comment, you can equally add poison to what you are selling to them. Maybe the one that killed Instanta or the one that killed them gradually. The one that will eat all the linings in their stomach. Everybody disappear. 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. The woman's daughter, teenager of about 23, 24, 25 years old, if I'm not mistaken, come out the same on the same Twitter where she tweeted with her mother how they hate Igbos. And begin to cry that their business is not moving. In fact, she's getting it difficult going to school because that is what her mother used to pay her school fees. That people should please start to patronize their business, that they are sorry for whatever they have done, whether knowingly or unknowingly. Then I trust my people. Everything we forget, internet never forget. Then everybody go and dig in, or rather dig out her comment before the election. Then compare it with other election and reply to her. Once you bring that and reply to her, she block you instantly. Once you bring that and show to her on that post, she block you instantly. She at the point she puts her account private. Have you seen it? The people whom you are dealing with, who are doing business, who you are buying their land, their houses, you are renting and paying them even upfront, they don't love you. They only love you simply because of that thing they are getting from you. As you are patronizing their business, you become their friends. Any day you leave that their business and patronize, maybe you have been patronizing them for all your life, and one day you didn't patronize them, you patronize somebody that is close to them, or maybe that person happens to come from another tribe. My brother, from that day, you have become Omale. You have become bastard in their eyes. Yorubas are going now, even going to all the whole Muslim groups, writing them in board that they should deal with the Igbos. That what happens in Uromi, in Edo, that Igbos are the one who told the people to go and burn the houses. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine the level of hatred? Yet, my people are still doing business in their areas. I'm not against you doing that business, or your normal business, or living anywhere you like. But my brother, Anyacha, let your eye open for you to know that the people you think they love you, they didn't love you. In fact, they hate you with passion. Another one commented that the vigilante who stopped that lorry and begin to buy them say they are Igbos. That was Yoruba. And one of our brother recounts his own ordeal. He said he went out yesterday to buy a breakfast, and at least he can speak and hears Hausa fluently. So where he's buying the breakfast, or rather where he's eating, maybe all this mama put joint, or all this fast food joint that's always on the street, you know, or ewa, beans, you know, meshai and the rest of them. So the Hausas were there discussing about the people who killed their brothers in Uromi. So they were talking in Hausa, telling themselves that the people who did that say na Igbos, na vigilante Igbos, na do that thing. Then another Hausa man, you know, he said they are Okada riders. They step into the conversation and ask them, how do you think it is possible for an Igbo man all the way from the east to become a vigilante in Edo to buy their own brothers? He asked them that question. He said everywhere was silent. There's nobody speak again. For me to tell you, that is why whenever I come on the internet to debunk every rumor or post any video of these people to debunk it, on a go turn against me. I say, if you allow a propaganda to linger for so long, it becomes a tradition and people will believe it. So it have gotten to the extent where we say these people, what they are working with now is what all these their Islamic clerics are passing to them, because they never pass anything good to them in their brain. Don't forget, these people, they never go to school. The only school they can boast of attending is those Al-Majri schools. And what they are teaching them in Al-Majri schools is nonsense. I repeat, I have lived in the north. What the orientation they are giving them in that Al-Majri school is nonsense. It is in that Al-Majri school, both the female and male are being, they are being made to understand that they have nothing like a brotherhood or sisterhood with anybody that comes from the Igbo side. That is what they are teaching them. They have not any business with these people. That they are not your brothers. In fact, that you're not supposed to be in the same country with them. So anywhere you see them, just see them as your potential enemy to attack, to kill, and eliminate. That is what they have been passing to them in all this their Al-Majri school. So when they grew up with that, if anything happens, they will tell them that it is an Igbos are their problem. Because Igbo is the one that is a big threat to them in this conquest agenda. Go to Oyo, in the boundary between Oyo and Kwara, which is in Lorraine. Fulanis have already said all the whole bush is there, like a kind of forest. Say it belongs to them, that Yorubas should stay clear of it. Seyi Makinde have come out and shout that Fulani terrorists are 8 kilometers far from Oyo, that they are very close. There was what do they call it? A road is supposed to commission in that area, but because they are 8 kilometers close to that area, governor of a state run from his own state. He never go to commission that road. Rather, he sent somebody to just go there, do abracadabra, and everybody go back home. The forest that's supposed to be inheritance of Oyo, which is Ibadan, is now being taken over by Fulanis from Kwara. And as they take over that forest, they are coming in to take over the city. Dominance, that is their motto. And yet, Yoruba, instead of them to fight the real enemies, they are busy instigating the enemies who are suppressing them, or rather the enemies who are taking over their lands and their states, to also do the same in the southeast, because they cannot fight. And Fulanis, Hausas, all of them, including Yorubas, know the only threat that has stopped these Fulanis from achieving their aim is only the Biafrans, the Igbos, and no other person. Igbos are the reason why this so-called country still remains the same. Any day they said Igbo decamp from this country, that United Nations set in now, said, okay, referendum have been conducted, Biafrans should go. My brother, that country will never remain. In fact, that will be the end of that name, Nigeria. Go and write it somewhere. This one is not a rocket science. Neither is it something that we can be holding to. I mean, who is the unity of Nigeria, if not the Igbos? Now they are using the same unity that Igbos are playing to backlash or to attack the Igbos. That go to their state, there's nothing there, but they are busy building other states. That is the spirit of fairness, the spirit of unity, spirit of oneness. But the problem Igbo man have is that they don't know where they are hated and where they are being accepted. They just take everywhere. Alawotu, that is what we believe. Alawotu, that is why an Igbo man will travel all far and near of how many thousand kilometers, how many million kilometers, and he will buy mansions and live comfortably there without even minding whether the locals like him or not. He believes everything is money, that when I have money, you are going to love me. When I have money, I am going to buy your conscience. But don't forget that anybody you buy their trust with money, whenever you stop giving them that money, that trust disappears. And buying them or buying that trust with money is not a guarantee that there's a real love between you and them. A simple truth. There's no any mathematical blunder there. I think I have spoken enough. Let's meditate on these words I have said. And I'm very sure I'm able to convince you, but not to confuse you, that Fulanis have an agenda to conquer the whole Biafra land. No two ways about that. Believe it or leave it. That's a simple truth. So like, share, comment, and keep subscribing for more interesting videos coming your way. I, Oglora, is here to serve you. I'll be right back. Okay, Messiano.